Dear viewer, it's been 6 months to the day since my appendix was surgically removed, for the reason being that the doctors believed I had appendicitis, but in the days following it was diagnosed as Crohn's disease. If you have been diagnosed with Crohn's disease and would like someone to talk to, you can message me through any social media platform. If you have any questions regarding Crohn's disease that was not addressed in this video, comment down below or visit crohnscolitisfoundation.org. With that being said, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Sincerely, Caden Duncan. Before I get started, I want to make it clear that this was my way of treating my inflammatory bowel disease. There is no single correct way of treating, as everybody's body is different. What might work for some might not work for others, and vice versa. So, it all really started 3 days before the surgery. On a Tuesday. At the time I was doing zero period, which starts an hour before school starts. Don't ask me why I wanted to do an extra hour of school every day, because I don't know either. And I was just on my normal routine, get up, take a shower, get dressed, eat breakfast, brush my teeth, then blast a little easy Uber all the way to school. Whoa. Yeah! But as soon as I sat down on my desk, this pain in my lower right side of my stomach just left me with my head down. ¿Dónde está la leche, clase? Kaden, ¿dónde está la leche? Sí, Kaden, ¿dónde está la leche en el refrigerator? Sí. Once the bell rang, I went to the nurse and told her I wasn't feeling well, so my dad had to come sign me out so I could drive myself home. At this point, I spent the next 2.5 days stuck in bed. When I did get up, I usually had that horrible stomach pain. On Thursday, I went to see my doctor and he wanted me to get an ultrasound. I got the ultrasound and it turns out I was having a baby boy! Nah, I'm playing. I wish it would have been that simple. They said my appendix was extremely inflamed and I went back to my doctor and he told me, you gotta get that thing out right now, bro, because if that thing bursts, that pain is gonna be 10 times worse than what you're experiencing right now. So on a beautiful Thursday evening, I was spending hours in the hospital waiting for this procedure to be done. At this point, the pain was unbelievable, and to make it worse, I couldn't eat or drink anything. But finally, they called me in. Suddenly, I woke up in a hospital bed with a nurse telling me that during the procedure, they had found some diseased intestine, so they did a double procedure and removed that diseased intestine as well. Because of this, they wanted to monitor me. So I stayed in the hospital for another 4 days. Once I was back home, began the wonderful series of me feeling crappy, having fevers, and actually just racking up a total of 4 ER visits in a week. Remember how I said they removed that diseased intestine? Well, when they took it out, they actually ended up infecting both of my incision sites. There was this one where they put in the camera so they could see what they're doing, and this was the main one where they took it out from. They're both all healed up nice and well now, but I'll show a picture from when it was actually stapled up and everything. As I was sitting there having a doctor squeeze infection out of my big incision spot, I was like, well, it can only go up from here. It doesn't get better. I found myself back in the hospital with a tube down my nose, down my throat, into my stomach so they could get rid of a blockage that they found in my intestine. I watched this video the other day called Crohn's and Colitis Cats, which reminded me of the tube. I'm not gonna even try to explain the concept of that video, but just watch this part.
Other times it's through a tube in my nose, which makes me look like a robot. I don't mind looking like a robot. I call myself Riley and bleep at my brother. Bleep, 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 bleep.
Just to be clear, I did not feel like a robot. After a few days, they took the tube out and the blockage seemed to be cleared, so they sent me home, just in time for Christmas Eve. I got to have a nice Christmas Eve meal with my family consisting of turkey tacos, and even on Christmas I had a solid 3 meals. But things went downhill when I was puking the day after Christmas. My mom had been told that Children's Hospital LA would be helpful for my situation, so that's where we went. They did some scans on me and they found that I either still had the blockage from prior or there was just a new blockage. So they put another tube down my throat for 4 or 5 days. No eating, no nothing. It was torture. And yet again, I still did not feel anything like a robot. But once they took that tube out, they started giving me this stuff called Boost. Apparently, elderly people drink about like one of these a day to get their vitamins and minerals in because they have all the necessary ones. But I was drinking these 24/7. Lots of IBD patients are prescribed with boosts because since the body doesn't need to break down any food, all there is liquid, the inflammation is able to be reduced. I was drinking the booze daily and I really didn't seem to have any issues, except for the sugar content. I looked it up and the average American should have about 48 grams of sugar a day, and one of these has 20 grams. And I was drinking 12 a day. Not good. And after a while, they really just were leaving me not feeling nourished or healthy. As you can imagine, me bouncing off the walls would not allow me to be able to relax. And not being able to relax leads to stress, which can contribute to Crohn's. I actually ended up spending one more week in Children's Hospital after being back in school for over a month. On the way back from that final hospitalization, my mom and I were listening to a podcast on Crohn's. The man speaking had dealt with Crohn's for many years, and he said that making sure to minimize stress was the best way at dealing with Crohn's disease. And when he said that, it all clicked for me. I had been living an extremely stressful life, working at In-N-Out, Boy Scouts, zero period, AP and honors classes, even just going to my friend's house at lunch just to make it back to class in time to get away from the hectic school parking lot was really just too much for my body to handle. Once I realized this, I dropped out of my higher level classes, I quit In-N-Out, and I really just relaxed. One last thing I want to discuss are things called biologics. These are drugs that are supposed to treat certain diseases such as Crohn's, and the doctors at Children's Hospital wanted me to start taking them as soon as possible. But my parents nor I wanted to inject chemicals into my body for the rest of my life. And this commercial I saw for Entyvio the other day really made it crystal clear for me. Listen to the side effects.
Infusion and serious allergic reactions can happen during or after treatment. Entyvio may increase risk of infection, which can be serious. PML, a rare, serious, potentially fatal brain infection caused by a virus, may be possible. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, experience frequent infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Liver problems can occur with Entyvio. Ask your doctor about the only GI-focused biologic just for ulcerative colitis and Crohn's.
So, we found a gastrointestinal functional medicine doctor, Dr. Rabar. He's focusing on restoring my intestines to their former glory to ultimately clear up my Crohn's completely. First, we started with the elemental diet. It uses tapioca instead of refined white sugar. And so what I'll do to make a drink is just take 2 scoops of this here powder. Just add water, shake it up, and you got yourself some Healthy Boost 2.0. Then I started taking supplements, powders, and pills to help alleviate the excess inflammation. And we got gotta get your vitamin D to help me sleep.
Ketone X for energy.
The list goes on, but I'm very lucky that COVID started right when I started taking all of these because there was no way I would have been able to keep track of all these at school. Anyways, once the inflammation had subsided enough, I started meeting with the nutritionist, Annie, who works with Dr. Abar, so I could start eating slowly but surely. I hadn't eaten solid food for over 4 months. But man, those first 2 watery bites of oatmeal were disappointing. But as I ate more and more, I am now just about at 100% food. With some restrictions, of course. No 4x4s from In-N-Out. I'm having another Zoom appointment with Dr. Rabar next week, so if you'd like to see more updates about my journey, make sure to hit the like button. For those of you new to my channel, make sure to subscribe, for I want to help every single one of you that has IBD. As I said in the intro, feel free to message me on any social media or just comment down below. And for those of you returning, I know this is different from the norm, but this has become a big part of my life, is something I need to address. And we will be back to the regular skating content very soon. With that, thank you all for watching. See you guys in the next video. Have a good one.
Bye.